wants to read the objective for today? Go ahead.
Objective, I will be able to identify and notate any note on the staff when a treble clef is present.
Does anyone know what the word notate means? Erica.
Write or draw.
Yeah, it means to write or draw. It's just a fancy word for it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this next slide, you don't need to write anything down, okay? So this part, remember how I made a big fuss about making sure that you draw a line note exactly on the line if it's a line note, or a space note if it's a space note? This is the reason why, because once we start drawing stuff on the treble clef, I will mark them wrong. So just make sure you're really clear on where your note is placed, okay? Line note, space note. There's no, you don't write anything on that. I highlighted that just for funsies. Okay, this is where you start writing stuff, okay? So the first one, a clef, is a symbol at the beginning of a staff, the 5-line 4-space thing, that tells you what letter name each line gets, okay? So it's called a clef. We need a clef because if I had this 5-line 4-staff thing right here, oh, see, at every single school, I struggle with said things. If you have a staff, and I drew a note right here, I don't know whether this is an F, an E, an A, I don't know. So you need a clef to tell the people playing what letter it is, okay? So we're, this is supposed to be highlighted. Is this highlighted on your blank space on your paper? No? Okay. Okay, so we're going to learn something called a treble clef. Okay, treble clef, you have to write this one, is used for higher instruments and higher voices, so sopranos, altos. Sometimes if you sing tenor, sometimes tenor parts are written in the treble clef, but with a little 8 underneath. And the treble clef is also called, looks like that, boop, and it's called a G clef. The reason why it's called a G clef, there's 2 reasons, but I'm gonna move this chair over here. Okay. This little clef right here, this is a treble clef. It kind of looks like a fancy looking G, but also this curly Q part, this line right here is the letter G. So that's one of the reasons why it's called G clef. It kind of looks like a fancy G. Okay, so up here, I'm gonna move my mouse. How many of you have heard of Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, those composers? Okay, so I wanted you to see how they drew treble clefs. I love how Beethoven, he just doesn't care. He's like, so we're gonna practice drawing some. If you mess them up, it's 100% okay. I'm not gonna grade you on how beautiful you write notes or treble clefs. Okay, so on your paper, I want you to take your handy dandy little pencil, move this out of the way, and practice draw. If you're like, I need to walk through the steps, just draw a line going up or down. I don't really care which way you do it. And it curls around to that 4th line right there. Third step, curls to that 2nd line, and then it curls around to the bottom line and connects with your line. Next step, up. And then it curls up to that 3rd line. And these are just approximate. It's approximate, it's not like exact. And the last one is up, curve to the 4th line, curve down to the bottom line, curve up to the middle line, and then curve around curly QC. So I want you to practice drawing some treble clefs. If there's anyone that wants to volunteer to come up and draw one, you totally can. And it doesn't have to be perfect.
Like ones up there?
If you feel comfortable. You're like, watch me. Watch me. Practice drawing at least 5.
So I can draw any one.
Yep. So try to draw this down here.
Civic.
No. Draw a treble clef. If you mess up, it's okay. That's close enough. Yeah. Good. Just make sure when you're doing these. In the past, I've seen a lot of students, when you get up to the top, you want to curve to the left, but you have to curve to the right first. Does that make sense? Make sure you curve to the right, and then you go around. That was really bad on my word. Up, curve to the right, and then down and around. Okay, easy peasy.
You said I could do anyone.
How many of you got your class written down? Okay, the next little part. Okay, how many of you have heard of something called a mnemonic device? Oop, it's not. Have heard of this word, mnemonic device? It's okay. It's just a fancy word for like, if you have like a set of letters. Let's say in science, you need to remember like the steps of like, I don't know, photosynthesis, and there's like a beginning letter. You put like, you make up a little word or a story to help you memorize said details. So I'm going to show you what that means in this context. Okay. So on the treble clef, do you see how are these line notes or space notes?
Space notes.
Space notes, okay? So I'm going to teach you a little mnemonic device to help you memorize the letters. When we go, where's mouse? Oh, I forget I have these, it's clicked, sorry. I don't need to do this anymore. Okay, so mnemonic device for, okay, on your little paper, will you write F-A-C-E? So right here, write F. You can write it inside the note if that helps you, but just know this is F, this is A, this is C, this is E. Okay? Okay, so mnemonic device that I share, I take my hand and I cover my face. And so I say in the space of like your hand, you see your face. F-A-C-E. Okay? Okay, make sure you don't go F-A-C-E. Make sure it starts at the bottom because it's like the floors in the building, F-A-C-E. Okay, so that's a mnemonic device that I use. Another one that I've used is farting always causes enemies. You don't have to write that one down if you don't want to. Another one I have is fat animals can't exercise. Does anyone else have any other like mnemonic device that you've learned in the past? You're like, that works for me. No one? Cricket, cricket. So I want you to create one. You can either use these examples, farting always causes enemies, or fat animals can't exercise. I used to say Fat Albert. Do y'all know who Fat Albert is?
Yes.
Yeah, and someone was like, that's so mean, Hatch. So yeah, I changed it to animals to be kind. Okay, but the one that I use is in the space. I see your face, so it's just the word face going up. Easy peasy. So if you memorize face for the space, that works for you. Okay, does everyone have that written down? Yes, yes, okay. The next one is the lines. Okay, so on your paper, starting from the bottom, not the top, write E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. Remember, start from the bottom and works your way up. Does anyone who knows the treble clef know a saying that helps them figure their thought? Yes. Elvis goes belly dancing Fridays. Did you have one?
Elvis's guitar broke down Friday.
Elvis's guitar broke down Friday. I know I have one of these down, so there's a handful. So empty, garbage, before, dad, flips. I think I wrote other ones. Elvis goes belly dancing Fridays. I think that is all that I wrote down. Yeah, go back. Okay, so write something down. I don't care if it's empty, garbage, before, dad, flips. Elvis goes belly dancing Fridays. There's Elvis goes boogie dancing Fridays. The one that I was taught when I was a kid, which I don't really like too much because my brain gets confused, but it's every good boy deserves fudge, or every good boy does fine. So pick one that works so you can just memorize. Okay, you got that written down? Waiting. Get closer if you can't see. Okay. 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 If there's something missing on your nose, like a blank space, you're like, Hatch, that's not correct. Okay. So when you combine the line notes and the space notes, they look like this. Hopefully it shows up. Okay. Do you see how I have line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and 5? It goes E, G, B, D, F, F, A, C, E. What do you notice? I don't know if I should ask this question yet. What do you notice about the letters as you go up from line space to line space? They zigzag, yep. Okay, so if this is E, you go up to the space right here. What letter is it?
F,
Then you go up to the next line,
G,
the next, A.
B, C, D, E, F.
So if you're a person that's just like, I don't want to memorize all these mnemonic devices, if you literally just memorize one line or one space, if you're like, that's F, if you go up the staff, I know this, you write this down later on in the notes, but if you go up the staff, you go forward in the musical alphabet. If you go down the staff, you go backwards in the alphabet. So if you just want to memorize one, you'd be like, that's F. So if I go up, that's G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it goes on forever. Okay? Okay, so I think this is where you're at in your notes, I think, maybe, possibly. The treble clef, I mentioned this at the beginning, the treble clef circle goes around line, what line is this?
G,
Line.
O, 2,
Line G, line 2, and it's letter
G,
G. So make sure you write that down. Got that? Thank you for holding the phone for me, I appreciate you. Okay, next one. Okay, right here. In this class, I'm only gonna have you go 2 notes below the treble clef and 1 note above. It goes on forever. Okay, does anyone remember from the past what note sits, you can look at this paper, what note sits on top of the staff?
G.
Okay, it's a goldfish, so it's G, okay? So right there, I want you to write, this little goldfish picture. Okay, I want you to write goldfish, which stands for G. And I want you to pretend that the staff, this guy right here, is your table, and the animals that sit on top of the table is a little goldfish in a bowl. So just make sure that you draw it perfectly on the space, doesn't have a line going through it, it's just right sitting on top of that, that's goldfish. What 2 animals are underneath the table? I know sometimes animals go on the table, but
cat and dog.
cat and dog, yes, I can have a little picture of that. Cat, there's a cat down there, boop, and then the dog. So it's C and D. I like using, okay, this I know it's kind of blurry, I'm super sorry about that. This note has a C, a tail going through it, a line going through it, so I like to think of it as a cat's little tail. I know dogs have tails too, but just remember the one that has a line going through it is a cat. Nehemiah, sit up please. If anyone else in the video is lying down, sit up. Yep, I know. Okay, then you can stand if it hurts. Okay, the next part, I mentioned this earlier. If you go up the staff, you go forward in the alphabet. If you go down the staff, you go backwards in the alphabet. So over here, I think you have this little thing written on your paper. You don't? It's okay. Can on your paper, next, do you have this written on your paper? That? Can you take this and draw an arrow pointing up next to this staff? An arrow pointing up, and then write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then an arrow going down. Draw it. Kira's like, I can't, I'm holding the phone. Okay, so if this, my little pencil. Okay, remember the spaces. Remember it's in the space I see your face. What letter is this right here? Someone shout it out, don't be scared.
F.
F, okay? So if this is F and we go up the staff, what's this next letter?
G.
G, then we go up again.
A.
A, next one?
D. B.
B, yep. Then,
C,
next one?
D.
D, next one?
E.
E,
F.
F, and it just goes on forever. If we go backwards, if this is F, what's this one? E. So if you have to use this little cheat sheet to help you, do it. Yes? Okay, still cheating. Okay. Can you, do you all know sign language? Back here? You're like, I know some of them. Okay. This is on your homework sheet on the back side, so flip your paper over. First, is this note a line note or a space note? Do I have
Space.
to down this? No, I don't. Okay, it's a space note. Okay, so what's the saying for the spaces?
F-A-C-E.
F-A-C-E. So we start with what?
C.
So F. Okay.
O.
What's his first base class?
F.
F. Next one.
A.
Then.
C.
So the answer to this one is C. Erica, what one is this? A. Nemaya. It's a line note. What's the saying for the lines, the mnemonic device?
E-G-B-D-F.
EGBDF.
A lot of names I don't like.
Elvis goes boogie dancing Fridays. So we have Elvis goes what?
B.
B. And then this is the easy one. Leilani, what's this one?
A.
Sorry, we have two B's in a row. Okay, what's this? It's the same thing, yeah. What's this one?
A.
A. Perfect. Then we go down one to Maddie. Don't be scared. G, yeah. And then Kiana. What was it? E, yep. If you notice, it spells the word cabbage. Right? Okay, here we go. Let's do Lexi. Think it was a line note, space note. B, perfect. And then Savannah.
A.
A, perfect. Then Megan. B. And then Rosalind. Last one. Line note, or so, yeah. E, perfect. And it spells babe. Yes. Okay, I want you to try this bottom line by yourself. Think of space notes or line notes. And I'll give you out 1 minute, and then I'll give you the answers. If you mess up, it's okay. If you need to switch out with someone, you totally can. 1 minute. Dun, dun, dun. Remember, in the space I see your face, F-A-C-E. And then the lines, Elvis goes boogie dancing Fridays, or empty garbage before dad flips, or every good boy does fine. Give me a thumbs up when you finished. About 30 more seconds. Do I have a volunteer who wants to write some of the answers down? Do 3. Anyone else want to draw some? If you're wrong, who cares? No one? Scared? No, it's not a test, it's just a voice placement. Okay, so the next one, these are all correct, so it's F-A-C. The next one is A. Check your answers, yes. This one's a line note, so it's Elvis goes boogie dancing, so it's a D. This one is a space note, so it's in this space I see your face, F-A-C what? E. And then line note, Elvis goes boogie dancing, D. And then what's the first one?
B.
E, as in elephant or Elvis. We have a space note, E. F-A-C-E, and then okay, what animal is underneath the table?
D.
Dog, yeah, so that's a D. If there was a tail, that would be a C for the kitty cat. Make sure you have these answers written down. You don't need to do this one. Okay. Next one. Okay, so this is the one I give you the letter. You're gonna have a homework sheet that does this exact same thing. I give you a letter and you have to draw a note. If there's 2 answers, there's 2 answers. Okay, for E, there's a space note E and there's a line note E. You can just put one, but if you see another E again, do the opposite. If you want to be fancy and write both answers on in one section, you can. So this one right here, at first it says to draw a treble clef at the beginning of every single staff. So take that right now and draw your treble clef. It doesn't have to be perfect. Draw your treble clefs. Draw your treble clefs. This should be on the bottom of your paper, I think. make sure you draw your treble clefs. I'm gonna do this line with everyone, and then the rest you're gonna do on your own, okay? Okay, so the first one, we got the E on the very bottom, and the E on the top. Who wants to be brave and tell me where is there one G, or is there two G's that we know?
One. Well, two.
There's two. Where's the first one? Can you take your hand and show me where one of the G's are? If you're pointing at your finger right here, your ring finger, that is correct. There's also one that's the goldfish. Where's the goldfish? At the top. So G is this line 2, and then up here. I'm trying to draw whole notes, but my finger's not letting me. Okay, the next one. We have B's. You go, Elvis goes boogie. So it's on that third line. Okay, the letter D has two options, correct? Yes? What animal is underneath the table?
Dog.
The dog. So it's right here. There's no line going through. Just make sure you don't put a line through it. Another one actually has it's a line note. So we go, Elvis goes boogie dancing. So it's that fourth line right here. F also has two places. Does someone want to be brave and draw where F is up here, or show me with your hand? There's a space one and a line one. You have to karate chop it if you're doing a space one. It's right, yeah, right there. Yeah, so it's the first space. In this space, I see your face, F-A-C-E. Okay, real quick. If this top space is E, we have F-A-C-E, and we go up one to the next line, that would be what letter? F. So if that helps you, if you use F-A-C-E as your base, you just go up and down to the next line, go up or down to the next letter. Okay, does G have 1 or 2?
2.
2. The answers are exactly over here. G and G. F have 1 or 2?
2.
We've done this already, so it should be that top space, so bottom space, top line. A, does A have 1 or 2?
1.
Only 1, we only got 1. So this one, we have F-A, right here. And then C, does C have 1 or 2 that we know of?
1.
2, has 2. There's one that's underneath the table, and there's one that's on the staff. So we have the, in this space, I see your face, F-A-C, so it's space 3. But we have the one that's the cat underneath the table. But you have to draw the line and then draw your note. Okay? The last one, does E have 1 or 2?
2.
2. Boop, boop. And the answer is over on this side. E, and then E. Remember, Elvis goes boogie dancing. In this space, I see your face, F-A-C-E. Okay? So you can use this to help you complete this. Are there any questions about treble clef, bass clef? You golden? Okay, I think that's all I need. I think. Let me delete this. I'm deleting this in 3, 2, 1. Boop. Next slide. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so a lot of using video can be done. You're rock stars.